It's 2008. You're after a new computer, as your old one is running Windows XP, and you've all heard of how great Windows Vista is, right? So you're going to go and buy a brand new PC. If you're looking at the sort of mid-range market, and you're after a GPU and a decent processor, then this quad-core HP Pavilion Elite PC may have been for you. Offers 4GB of RAM, a 1TB hard drive, and an AMD Phenom quad-core processor. At the time, these are pretty decent specs. So let's see what we've got in this box, as I've just picked this thing up from the boot sale. I don't even know if it works yet, and I don't even know if it's the actual computer in the box. So without further ado, let's unbox this thing, shall we? I'm just going to have to zoom out a little bit. And perfect, let's go and unbox it. And yes, I'm in welding clothes because I've been doing some welding today. So, we have our box. I cheated and took the plastic things off. I know, I'm very naughty. So if I turn it around here, you can kind of see the front of the box and how it's all set up. I don't know what's actually, it appears to be missing something. Oh well. Let's try and not drop it on the floor like Linus. Styrofoam packaging. All the packaging is actually here, which is amazing. We have our box here. What's this going to be? Keyboard, cables. It looks like the other one's keyboard, so I assume this is cables. We have our Microsoft Office 2003. So this obviously wasn't with the computer. Wasn't, you know, included with the computer new because it's way older. We have instruction manuals. We have remote control, a Logitech mouse, Windows Media Center remote, still with the peel on it. Kind of looks like a Sky remote, the kind of shape. Not really, but you know, I bet it still has batteries in it as well. So that's nice. We have a keyboard. Someone else's dirty mitts have been all over it. Oh, a wireless keyboard. Ooh, fancy. I'm not so sure this would have been the one included with the PC, as it's a Logitech branded unit. But hey, here it is. Looks like it takes three AAA. Looks like it takes a couple of AAA batteries. Looking at that slot. And the computer itself. There, that's better. So we have a card reader on the top for various cards. We have smart media, nice and high tech. Compact flash, also nice and high tech. MS Pro Duo, standard SD card reader as well. And yeah, we have a optical drive. You don't see them anymore. Ooh, LightScribe DVD multi super drive. Wow, not a knockoff of Apple super drive at all there in the naming scheme. If I zoom in, you can see we have a HP Pocket Media Drive Bay. This is like for a little hard drive that is proprietary to HP systems that you could just put in, a bit like a cassette. It almost looks like a cassette drive bay, but it's not. It was actually a hard drive that plugged in there. I believe it's a SATA hard drive inside the enclosure, more or less. Hard drive in this PC is 1TB, so pretty reasonable for the time. Not sure what that is. So yeah, let's get the rest of the cardboard off the bench and have a look at the inside of this thing. To open the HP Elite PC, you just have a simple thumb screw that is right here, and it's captive. That's always nice. And then, ta-da! The insides of the PC. So let's make sure it's all in camera, yeah, in shot. Okay, so we have our graphics card. I think this is a NVIDIA 8600 GT or something like that. There is our processor under there, AMD Phenom. That's the media bay I was talking about. And let's have a look in there properly. No, it is basically using a USB connector. So it's actually USB. It's an internal USB connector, like a printer style USB connector. We have 4 gigs of RAM, 4 1GB sticks. Wow, I know how things have changed. We have a light-on power supply with a maximum output of 300 watts. That's nice and safe. And we have upgraded hard drives, or quite possibly they cheaped out and just used two 500GB hard drives instead of one 1TB drive. It doesn't actually state whether there's 1 or 2 drives in here on the website, or maybe we have 1.5 TB. So without further ado, let's get this thing powered up and see if we can trip the circuit breaker, shall we? Okay, although the PC did power up briefly, it now doesn't power on. It didn't display anything when it did power up. I suppose it did run for about 5 minutes and it just didn't display anything no matter what you did. So I've got to start troubleshooting from here, unfortunately. I really did think this was going to turn on and work perfectly, and that the reason someone had got rid of it was because, well, it's just obsolete. However, that's not the case. This thing is actually broken. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right, let's pull the GPU first. So there's a... Oh, don't align us. That's plugged into the GPU, pull the power wire out. I could disconnect. It's the audio link cable, I believe. I'm going to need my wire cutters for this. Yay! Let's cut the cable ties. I suspect it's a GPU problem because she was running. It just wouldn't display anything. Then the sun just wouldn't run anymore, so. One of those silly car keeper things. Oh yes, of course it has. This is 2008. There we go. This lovely cable that, you know. Cable routing on old PCs was interesting. There's no room in here. But I have other graphics cards. But, like, I don't think they will fit in here, because literally, there we go. There's your graphics card. But look at the amount of room we've got in the case. No way you can put a modern GPU in this case. So this thing is a, doesn't tell you, but what I remember, it's an 8600 or something like that. With the world's most awesome looking cooler. It's an Asus 8600 from Nvidia. It's an Nvidia 8600 GPU. So one down from a 8800 GTS or GT. So yeah, that's that. Let's see if she'll power on now. Got the power cable in. We could have a dead power supply as well, but yeah, I'm getting nothing. No, you plug in CPU power. That might be why. Oh, that's neat. There's a little Wi-Fi board behind here, so this thing had built-in Wi-Fi. No power though. Don't even know if I have another power supply kicking around. One thing I am low on. You can't tell me our light on power supply has died. That'd be a shame. There's so much crud in the way of this thing. Like, wow. Okay, let's take our TV tuner card out of this thing. Well, it was Media Centre after all, and Win TV was a thing back in the day. Let's see if she powers up now. It's highly unlikely, I know. There's a short somewhere though. No, lights on the power supply, but that's it. Unplug the drives. Never know, might have a shorted hard drive. Hope not. I was hoping to find Bitcoin on them. No, I'm only joking. It's highly unlikely anyone's thrown a computer out Bitcoin on it. That never happens. Like, wow. Okay, so that is actually going to be okay, so we've unplugged everything we can unplug. Well, that is genuinely just a fan. Let's try to find Wi-Fi. And we'll see if he powers up now, but it's not looking good. Might even be a switch that's bad. There's that front panel that's up there. Oh well. Okay, so just had a proper look at the computer. It turns out we have a completely dead power supply. You short green to ground, one of the black wires, and it should come on. It should power up. So on this connector here, 24 pin, connect that one to that one, the power supply should turn on. I've used PC power supplies to power everything from RC car chargers to electric motors, so I know that is 100% the case. This one, the green light comes on to say it's got power, but it does not power up. And yes, I left it long enough to get out of its safety mode if it was short-circuited inside, it was in protection mode, so to speak. Because when you unplug it, it will still hold a bit of charge in those capacitors, and if it registers a fault before you unplugged it, you've got to wait for the light to go out completely and it to sit for a little while, and then it will power up again and should work. That's not the case with this one, it is completely dead. So our light on 300 watt power supply has corked it. But don't worry, I'll have a look, see if I've got any more power supplies kicking around. Well, it's the only power supply I've got, but it works, so let's use this one. Nothing else seems to work on these things, doesn't output any video or anything, but that's not the subject of today's video, so we're just going to get the power supply out of this and then test its motherboard at a later date. That's really all that's in there, motherboard and a very, very ill graphics card. Well, would you look at that? So, took the thing apart, checked the power supply was bad, threw another power supply. Unfortunately, it's not a 20 pin, a 24 pin connector, it was a 20 pin, and it had a 4 pin for the CPU. So I just tried it because it's all I had. Still wouldn't do anything. Took out the graphics card, still did nothing. It powered up, but nothing was displayed on the screen. Took out 2 RAM modules, still nothing. Took out one more, thinking it's probably a power supply compatibility issue or something like that. And then all of a sudden we get this, it works. None of the drives are connected. I don't know if you can see that. Insert system disk, press enter. That means the board's posted and we should all be running shortly. Woohoo! Okay, so believe it or not, this thing will play YouTube with Windows Vista on here. I just upgraded the browser. AMD Phenom quad core seems to struggle a little bit. Well, not really struggle, but certainly being utilised. This video is only recorded in 1080p, but the quality will not let me adjust it. It looks like it's playing in like 360p or 480p, something like that. And yeah, CPU is hovering around 40%, just doing YouTube video, nothing else. So, you know, 1.5 gigs of RAM, 1.35 gigs of RAM rather. But she is working. She ain't pretty, but she works. I've obviously got to put a different power supply in this, like I stated before, but yeah, the 2006 PC does play, 2008 PC does play YouTube.